is Your Life, a program for all America. Brought to you by New Green Comet Cleanser. For This Is Your Life himself, Ralph Edwards.
Hello, everybody. I'm speaking to you from the rear lobby of the new NBC office building next door to their television studios here in Burbank, California. There's the telephone that might be our principal subject. Mr. John Nelson, NBC program executive, has asked our principal subject to come to his office on the third floor for a little business talk. Well, their business completed, they're about to come down this elevator here right now. When the door slides open, you'll see a face as haunting as the face of Abraham Lincoln. And what memories will come to many of you when you see him? Memories of little movie theaters and silent picture days over a bag of peanuts or popcorn. We yelled with laughter at the antics of this sad-faced little man. He seemed to get into trouble every time he turned. I see the elevator has started down, so stand by for a great surprise. Oh, my. We called Mr. Nelson just a second ago to say that we had a little trouble on stage. That is, our confederate, actually, Axel Gruenberg, our producer, called Mr. Nelson, said, would you please come down on stage? So Mr. Nelson is bringing our subject. And, fine. Hello, Buster Keaton. How do you do? See, I'm a fan of yours from way back. And the fact is, come on out here, boys. Buster, he smells her. John Nelson, come over here, Johnny. John Nelson and I have kind of framed you. You see, you're on television, coast to coast. America's waiting for the story of what... story of one of the immortals of the silent screen, you, Buster Keaton. For tonight, This Is Your Life. Oh, our thanks. Where's Al Gregory? Al Gregory of Paramount Pictures, who was in on the plot. Thanks to you. Johnny Nelson, thanks very much, John. And Howard Ross over there, thanks so much. Look, Buster, you've been caught... you played a lot of practical jokes on people. You've been caught in one yourself now that you didn't create. Okay, boy?
Are they here? They're not here yet. Well, stay with us, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to see highlights in the life of a great personality who was loved not only by millions of people all over the world in the movies he made, but by the friends who worked with him in the industry. And here they are now, ladies and gentlemen, our host, Ralph Edwards, and our honored subject master comedian, Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton, Bob Warren.
Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thanks so much. Well, did we get you or did we get you, man? We got you. Buster, for a younger generation who didn't see your films, we're going to decorate your life with bits and pieces from your movies, which have never been beaten for deep down, satisfying laughter. Come over here and sit in our chair of honor, will you? This is your life, Buster Keaton. Here's one over here, Buster, you can look at. Over here. Listen to me. Your father teaches you early in life that a sure way to get a laugh is to sock somebody in the head with something. Your dad and mother, Joe and Myra Keaton, are gone now, of course, but they were vaudeville. They're on the road in Kansas when you're born. What kind of a show were they in at that time, Buster?
A medicine show.
Right. An old-time medicine show. And you idolize your father, who teaches you to fall and roll like a bouncing ball. At the age of 4, you proudly joined Mother and Dad in their act.
I got my first salary.
It was the roughest act in vaudeville. The first time I ever saw Joe Keaton throw Buster all around the stage like that, I was scared to death. I thought he killed the child.
Well, that's the voice of a lifelong friend from your vaudeville days. Later, she became a leading lady to such great stars as Rudolph Valentino, Will Rogers. From Glendale, California, here is motion picture actress Louise Dresser. What part did Buster play in the act of the three Keatons, Louise Dresser?
Well, he played the part of a very bad little boy. Now, don't you cry. You had me cry.
It's a thrill to see these two wonderful people here together. My goodness, Louise Dresser, what memories.
You know, one trick that Buster had that I remember very well. He used to stand on a table back of his father, whirling around a basketball on the end of a rope. while Joe was trying to shave himself with a straight-edge razor. The ball kept getting closer and closer and closer. All of a sudden, bang. Boy,
Right on Pop's head.
right on his head.
And the audience would die laughing. Of course, what would your father do to you then, Buster, in the act? When he
Well, if he caught me, I got it.
he kicked you, he threw you off stage. Most people seeing your act know this is all for laughs, but now and then someone takes your falls and beatings seriously. And here to tell us what happened is a friend you haven't seen in over 20 years. From Muskegon, Michigan, where your family lived during summer vacations, is old-time vaudevillian Will Rawls. Here's Will. Been a little while since you've seen this fella, hasn't it there? I guess Buster was almost too good at those falls and pantomime injuries. Is that so, Mr. Rawls?
Yes, he was quite often, the parents were quite often arrested, thinking that they were mistreating him. And then Buster would have to go down to the chief of police, pull off his little shirt and pants, and show them that he had no bruises or broken legs.
Years later, you see Buster attain his first boyhood dream. And what was that, Mr. Rawls?
When his father and us helped put him through the Elks, Muskegon.
Now, both you and Buster are lifetime members, aren't you, of the
Yes.
members of the Elks Club of Muskegon. And what else do you remember of Buster's boyhood days, Louise Dresser?
Oh, I remember so many things about him, nice things. But the nicest thing that I remember about Buster was his great devotion to his mother and his love for his little brother and sister.
Brother and sister, and here they
Whenever
are.
you ever saw this boy, those two children were always with him.
From Los Angeles, your sister Louise and your brother Harry Keaton. Here they are. What? Of course she helped frame you. The whole family was in. You're not safe at all anymore, Buster, with these fellas. What happens when Buster is about 19, Louise?
Well, our parents had to give up the vaudeville act, and he set out to support us all.
Yes.
Yeah, he was determined that Louise and I would get the schooling that he never had.
Well, thank you, Louise and Harry Keaton, Louise Dresser, and Mr. Will Rawls of Muskegon, Michigan. You'll see Buster a little later. You'll see him later, Buster. Where's the makeup man? He's not dressed. It was Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle who first offers you a part in his screen comedies. You feel right at home because you got hit with something the first scene you played, didn't you, Buster?
Yep.
What was it with? With Fatty. Wasn't it a sack of flour?
Yeah, a sack of flour. It was about 3 pounds and tied off tight, so there was no air in the package.
Real rock.
And I said, how am I going to keep from flinching? He says, look away from me. When I say turn, it'll be there.
And it was, and you did a...
He put my head where my feet were.
You show such great talent that after your return, of course, you couldn't help but show talent on a hit like that. But after your return from fighting in France in 1918, you're offered a chance to star in your own comedies.
No movie actor ever had a faster rise to stardom than Buster. In less than 2 years, he was famous all over the
A
world.
voice to awaken memories, Buster. He was the director of many of your earliest comedies. Now an executive with Spike Jones' staff. Here's your old friend, Mr. Eddie Klein. As a young man, you worked for...
Right here, rehearsing.
You worked for Buster Keaton. Spike was last night in a good show, too.
Yeah.
Wonderful starter. As a young man, you worked for Buster Keaton, Eddie, a comedy genius. This man, Keaton. Did he keep you and the crew laughing all the time?
Well, we always had a wonderful time because this guy was always pulling jokes on us.